Oh God, I wish I had something interesting to say. But the fact is, you will be able to see the food here. And oh God, I've done this film so many fucking times. I'm very excited because I've had an electrician come around today who was supposed to be here last week, but I was terribly nice to him because no, that's shit. It's for canapes and for just lots of lovely dishes, but I just wanted to oh, I'm not going to post this. Today's top tip, I thought I would film from a different angle. This time it's standing by my sitting room bar. Christmas mincemeat. What I learnt last year was if you leave it until it's too late, like even possibly 10 days before Christmas, the good stuff is no longer on the shelf. This particular one is the brandy and clementine mincemeat from Marks and Spencer's. And what I've done this year is I've bought one extra jar more than I need, because I will be sharing my mince pie recipe next week. I have already made today my 24 mince pies and they are in the freezer, but I have also I've got a little bit of extra pastry for an emergency. And then what I will probably do is find a use for this after Christmas. I'm thinking to mix this in with an apple crumble. Yum. So my top tip tonight is get your mincemeat early. Obviously, some of you will be making your own, but I'm not. I've suddenly become mindful of the fact that these films aren't just watched by people in Britain who know exactly what mincemeat is, and I think it is something that is very particularly British. It is not ground beef or pork or any of those things. It's very sweet. It's currants and apples and candied peel. It is a sweet treat. I'm just standing in front of my other bar. I have a bar in the kitchen too. Thought you'd like that. With some salt and pepper too, and I'm going to add 20 ml of milk and whisk it up. This is cooked for about 6 minutes. I'm going to pour the egg over. I'm doing it my way. So I'm going to okay, start again. Toad in the hole. Everybody has their own versions. I get nervous. I suffer from imposter syndrome. I have always felt, no, that's too much. You don't want to hear that. Oh, I don't know what this is. Look, I'm just adding 2 big dollops of, sometimes I just don't know. I find it exhausting, of whole grain mustard. I might get a bloopers film out of this one. Just with me second guessing myself. I've got some gravy defrosted from the freezer. I know that I need to do some gravy films going, ow, shit! Oh, crap. God. I've just taken that off the heat. I'm such a professional. This is the worst toad in the hole I've ever made. There is no rise. It's because I second guessed myself. It does actually look and feel like it might be quite tasty. So, it looks crap. The flattest toad in the hole in the world. If you didn't know what it was supposed to look like, you'd think this was bloody marvellous. It's not really a hole, is it? It's more of a ditch. This is toad in a ditch. There are days when you just shouldn't set foot in the kitchen. I've just made my second batch of vol au vents and they're pathetic. So I always get much better results with using block pastry that I've rolled out myself to slightly thicker, but you can't buy it. There's not many places. Anyway, I wanted to make some vol au vents today, and I used some pastry that has been in the freezer for a year. I know! They smell really cheesy, and I know they shouldn't smell cheesy. It's puff pastry, and also they're all knobbly. The pastry, look. Out, and I have bought a block of puff pastry, and I am going to roll it out, and I am going to make a vol au vent. And it's going to work. And because I'm doing this again, I'm going to make like a giant one, which I can then fill for a dinner party dish. Preheat the oven to 200 degrees. So I've left this quite a bit thicker than the ready rolled stuff. And as I said, I'm going to make one giant vol au vent. So I'm using this bowl. So very carefully paint the egg. I'll place that on top. I like to use my hands as utensils. They worked! That's proper pastry case, that is. Fill it full of chicken, and that is a fantastic main course size. And then this is just delightful. I did it! Just in terms of storing pastry, don't store it. If it's unfilled, don't store it in the fridge. It will stay nice and crisp if you just have it, cool it completely, airtight container at room temperature, and it will keep like that for a couple of days. After that, you then want to wrap it tightly and freeze them. I won't be freezing these. I will be eating them. I'm sorry. Oh, actually, no. This is a Swede. In America, it's called a Rugabaker. I can't remember. And in Scotland, it's called a Swede, which I find very confusing because there is also a vegetable. No, that's all wrong. First cooking disaster of my return. I was making a potato terrine. I know what I did wrong. I probably shouldn't have had a watermelon fresh. I don't think I cooked the potatoes to soft enough. I didn't put enough butter in. I'm going to make this again, and I will be sharing the recipe next week when I get it right. I just want you to see I make mistakes like everybody. This food is not going to go to waste. It's still tasty. I just can't cut it like a terrine. Not wasting my disaster. My faithful salad cream. Make a very nice potato salad. So 30 grams of ginger, four, oh, what are these called? Four. I've had two of these. Oh no, one and a bit. This is number two. Still can't find the words. Oh shit. I can't even find the clicker to turn it off. It's Thursday. And somebody's just messaged me. There's so many things that I have to do when I film. I have to film and then I have to edit it down to less than 3 minutes. The captions are generated automatically, and I do try and go through the captions, but sometimes things pass me by that I miss. So last night's caption mess up was smoked havoc. I actually think I'm going to call it smoked havoc from now on, because my life always seems to be havoc. But the best one ever, which some of you may have missed if you weren't following me back in early December, was I was making mince pies and I was using the Marks and Spencer's, oh God, what was it called? Marks and Spencer's mincemeat with clementine and brandy. And on the captions, it put mincemeat with ketamine. And that was up for days before I realised. I thought, oh my God, people are going to be queuing outside Marks and Spencer's to get their ketamine-laced mincemeat for their mince pies. Sorry, it's just made me laugh, and I thought I've got to share it with you. Making my own dressing. I'm using the Marks and Spencer's buttermilk ranch dressing, and you want to, I'm going to have to read the instructions on how to open this. So it says, lift and pull, squeeze until it pops. I'm not sure what I'm waiting for. Well, let's just see. I am squeezing it. Oh, for God's sake. It's coming. Put it down. Do that, and I heard it go pop. Still not coming. It's popping. Right, I'm going in with a knife. If somebody from Spam can get back to me, I'll get this damn thing out the tin. Squeeze and pop. Oh, tap and squeeze. I'm tapping. And I'm squeezing. I think I'm just going to have to do a whole film on how to get Spam out of a tin. I can see it's coming out. Here she comes. Oh. Get this motherfucker out. It's Spam, for God's sake. It should be easy. I'm squeezing the end. And once you've opened it, you have to store it out of the tin. So I have to get this bastard out. You're all going to tell me I've done something glaringly wrong. I'm setting a challenge for all of you to get Spam out of a tin. It's coming, but it's bloody slow. Oh, oh, oh! Oh! I died. I've left a bit inside, obviously where I've been cutting it.